Well, I'm Matthew Kemps with Lone Wolf Realty Group at Spyglass Realty, and this is
Matt Kirschling, Gold Star Mortgage.
Two Mats, One Market. All right, let's jump straight into Lone Wolf Kitchen this week. So last week you were 2-6.
Yeah, thought I did way better.
We'll get it going. Lone Wolf, myself, went 5-3. We're gonna add a few other games going on because we got World Series started. So let's start with a futures bet. And for the record, Matt and I are putting $25 a game against each other on these.
Yep.
We'll figure out how we're gonna do money lines and that kind of stuff. But just know that we got $25 going back between the two of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rangers -170, Diamondbacks +140 for who wins the World Series. Who do you want?
I'm going Rangers.
Okay, so Kirsch is on Rangers. I personally want the Rangers to win, but I really actually think the Diamondbacks are going to win because the Rangers just cannot close. So we're going to go Diamondbacks.
They closed the night before last.
They did, but
was it 11-4?
11-2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go into football. Let's go to the first game. It's 11 a.m. game. This line opened at the same line it's at currently now, +10 Kansas or OU -10.
College, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so do we? But no ratings on these teams, right?
Nope. Well, OU's ranked.
OU is ranked.
Yeah.
But and Kansas is not.
Kansas is going to be just outside top 25. I don't. They could be inside the top 25. I don't have that on me right now.
I'm gonna go OU. You know, just having some history there. Ryers.
Okay.
Ryers dorm room. If you know, you know.
This is Oklahoma.
Oh, this is Oklahoma. Thinking Ohio University.
No, Oklahoma.
Still going Oklahoma.
Okay. Kansas, I got you. I'm going Kansas +10. All right, next game. BYU +17.5 versus Texas, -17.5.
Jeez.
Texas home game. This line opened at 20.5.
17.5's a lot.
It's a ton.
I'm going BYU. I
Okay.
hate to root against the Longhorns, but
Man, we are going against each other every game here.
that is a
I
huge
am
spread.
going I'm going -17.5 Texas. All right, Oregon -6.5. Utah +6.5. This is also a 2:30 game. This line opened at 6.5 as well.
Who won last game we bet on?
Utah won that against USC. Oregon has one loss. These are both ranked teams.
I'm going Oregon only because, I mean, I know they won last week,
They're
but
good. They're really good.
they're due for a loss, right?
Man, okay, I'm going Utah. We're just fading each other on all these. Okay. All right, and now here's what I have a close friend who's actually my best man at my wedding. His name's Alex Ellis. He's also on our real estate team with us.
Hell of an agent.
Yep. Hell of a golfer, too. He wanted me to cook up something special for the Lone Wolf Kitchen, and we're going to call this the Lone Wolf Special. These are going to just be kind of gross, dirty games that nobody watches that I think there's an edge on. So we're going to go with alma mater here. Texas State +4.5 versus Troy -4.5. This game opened at -4. It's a 6 p.m. game. Who do you want? I can tell you where my pick's at. These are gross.
Didn't Troy do really well last year?
I don't think there's been more than 6 people that have watched these games in the last 10 years.
Well, I'll go Texas State just
There
because
we
they're
go.
local and that's where you went to school.
Hell yeah. And they're good this year.
All right.
All right, now let's go what I think is even more gross game.
This is Miami, Ohio.
Miami, Ohio versus Ohio. Line is -7 Ohio. This is a 2:30 game. What do you want here?
I got to go Ohio. You know, Miami's all the rich kids.
There you go. Okay.
You know.
Miami's the rich kids.
Miami's the rich kids. So I'm going for the underdog in terms of, economic.
Okay.
to
To make this easy, I'm going to fade you in this one, and the only game we're going to have together is Texas State.
Okay.
So then we're basically matching up against together. Everyone's going to win.
That's easy.
Okay, so I'm going to be Rich Kids, and you're going to be Gridiron Gang.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. All right, now let's jump into NFL. Let's run through these ones pretty quick, and let's get to the good real estate stuff. All right, Rams Cowboys -6.5 line. The line opened at -6.5. Which side do you want? Cowboys are -6.5.
How about them Cowboys? I'm going
Okay,
Cowboys.
I am gonna fade you again.
I knew you were going to. I was feeling that.
Okay. Vikings Packers. Our notes say -19. It's not -19. It's -1.
Oh, okay.
And
I
it
was gonna
opened
say,
at 1.
Jesus.
So Packers are -1. Vikings are +1.
Oh, what a shitty game. I know how much you love the Vikings. I'm gonna go Vikings.
Let's go. We're both on it. All right. And the Vikings came off a great win last week. I love that. Packers are barely alive. All right, let's go. Browns Seahawks. Seahawks are -3, and this game opened at -2.
Gotta go Brownies.
Hell yeah, I'm with you on this one too. So just to clarify what this means, the Browns can lose by 3 and you push.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's go Monday Night Football. Raiders Lions. Lions -8. Line open at -4.5. That is a massive jump.
This is a good one though, I feel like.
8's a little high though.
Well, I know the Lions got their asses whooped last week, which is probably why the line moved so much.
No, they
'Cause
didn't. Did they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Lions they
Hold on.
they got beat by Baltimore. It wasn't
No.
Baltimore. It was
I didn't think they lost last week.
they were getting their asses whooped while I was watching the Browns. There's no way they came back from that.
Let's see. Last week.
I was only paying so much attention because
Oh, they did.
I know, because my home office, my corporate office is in
Ravens.
Ann Arbor.
Got
It was the Ravens.
Yeah.
I was fucking right.
38-6.
They got smoked.
Damn.
And
Okay.
the joke was the Lions remembered that they were the Lions.
Got it. Okay, so
So I'm
this
pretty
line-
sure that's why the jump.
Okay.
I think the Lions are going to come back, man. I think they're going to be pissed off, and they're going to show what they got. I mean, the Raiders look all right this year. I feel like this is a good.
At Lions juicy.
I'm going Lions still, just because the people I know, if anybody from my corporate office saw me betting against Lions, this for you, Jeremy. Jeremy Nichols, our CFO. He's a big Lions fan, and for the first time in probably his entire life, he's got something to root for. So I feel that as a Browns fan,
I got a good client I've worked with in Lakeway, Steve Waters. We're going to be taking Lions -8 here, and they're going to destroy them. And I know you love that. All right.
Let's go.
Lions -8 Monday Night Football.
All right.
Okay, now let's jump into some real estate good stuff and just some topics that Keeping Current Matters brought us. And the first one I want to go over is what are the perks of selling your home when inventory is low? I can jump in on this. I'll let you jump in on the lending side, and we'll go from there. I'll let you start the lending side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the perks of selling when inventory is low is obviously it's just a supply and demand issue. I mean, you still have a lot of leverage in terms of your actual price. One of the nice things from the lending side of things is we're seeing things still appraise.
Because you have comps to validate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we have the comparable sales. We are seeing the fact that inventory is low because we're watching things still appraise. And because of that, we know that property values aren't going down. Outside of that, on the listing side, I mean, obviously, I'm not very involved in that. We're pretty much working with the buyers. I just kind of know what I see. Not much on the lending side. I think there's a lot to go into on the real estate side, but I'll leave that up to you.
Tons. So I'm going to give you some quick stats, and then I'll talk about what I'm actually seeing. So 69% of homes are being sold in less than a month. So less than 30 days, 69% of homes are being sold. On the average listing is receiving 2.6 offers on the homes that have been sold. So there might be scenarios where they might receive 4 or 5 offers on something that's super lowballed, but you're getting investor offers, and they don't end up selling. This is saying 2.6 offers on the homes that have sold is the average number of offers. Homes spent 2 weeks less on market this past month than they did the average in September from 2017 to 2019. So what that's basically saying is the homes that have been on market currently this year in September spent 2 weeks less on market than they did in 2017 to 2019.
Okay.
Which is hard to believe because rates were nowhere near 8% in 2017 to 2019. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. I mean, 2017.
And we still have lower inventory than that.
Mid fives.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then Bottom line, like you said, supply and demand is kind of the biggest portion here. But what I'm seeing, if the home is priced correctly, so we talked about this in the last or 2 episodes ago. My listing in Buda 456 Sabino, we were 10 days on market and we had an offer that the seller was willing to accept and move forward with. It sold for higher than the market average price per square foot in Sunfield. I can't disclose that because of non-disclosure laws yet, but once it closes, we can have a conversation. We are well over the asking price on the price per square footage. We priced it perfectly, and seller's super happy about that. We have other listings that we're kind of starting to see that are jumping up. I am seeing more foreclosures pop up.
Mm-hmm.
I am seeing more short sales pop up. Are you seeing the same?
They haven't come my way yet
Okay.
because I don't get to see them until the financing is involved. But obviously, we talked about this already. Foreclosures. I mean, if it's a true foreclosure,
Mm-hmm.
we don't see that because those have to be done by cash just because of privacy laws and everything like that. But short sales, bank-owned properties, we do get involved in those. And I mean, the only ones that I have heard of per se are people who basically, and this is something that we've talked about, are people who have bought homes in the last like 18 to 24 months. Nobody that's bought later than that, that for whatever reason, want to get out. And that's one thing when we talk about when people are like, is this a good time to buy? That is one of the things that I do make mention of is like, if you're in a position where you don't think you're going to be able to make the payments for like 12 to 18 months, that's not really buying in my opinion.
Yep, that's force.
What's that?
It's like forcing yourself and putting yourself in a scenario.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I can't talk about the specifics of one of the scenarios that I'm thinking of, but like, in my opinion, the one I'm thinking about, which is actually with one of your guys, the person who is doing the foreclosure has the ability to like make right.
We think the same person?
I don't know, but
Okay.
he's moving back to the state that he came from, and
It's not.
okay. So with that being said, it's like some of these foreclosures and short sales that I'm seeing, unfortunately, and this is like kind of strikes a nerve for me. It's like there are people out there that get themselves into situations that are not ideal, but are definitely financially manageable. And instead of, kind of taking your lumps, if you will, they just kind of throw up their hands and they're like, well, I don't want to deal with it. Not my problem. And they foreclose. And that right there is a situation that is frustrating because when we're doing financing for people and we're basically getting all of this information and everything short of a blood sample, and people are like, why is this necessary? It's because of it's bad guys like that. They're out there. They're literally out there where like they're just basically like, yeah, this is I don't want to deal with this. I'm moving back to the state that I came from. I'm going to foreclose on this property and, whatever. And I know when I say it out loud, you're looking like, who would do that?
No,
You would be surprised.
I am just thinking why.
I just think it's out of sight, out of mind. You tell people, hey, you're not going to be able, a foreclosure is going to ding your credit and it's going to hurt you from purchasing a home for 7 years. And I don't know who out there doesn't think 7 years is a long time, but it is. And then on the flip side, there's just people out there that are like, well, for the next 7 years, I'll just rent and then I'll come back. Even when you come back from a foreclosure after 7 years, like it's not like all sunshine and rainbows. Like it's not like a clean slate. Like we're still going to mess with you because we see from like a character standpoint that you're willing to just kind of go, not my problem.
F it.
It's like repo. It's like a repo on a car. Like, short sales a little bit better. You and the bank try to come up with the solution, but to completely foreclose is just, I don't know, it's wild.
So again, I'm Matthew Kemps. I'm with Lone Wolf Realty Group at Spyglass Realty. If you are in the market looking for whether it's selling or you're looking to buy, or you're looking to invest, especially on the investment side, would love to run some numbers with you, talk through cap rates, talk where there's higher lease in certain areas, and just kind of get to everything. My number will be listed right up here, and then there's also a link down in the description below for our Calendly. Feel free to schedule some time with us, and we'd love to just dive into. Go ahead.
Love it. Yeah, Matt Kirschling with Gold Star Mortgage. I'm keeping my same call to action as it was last week. I am honestly just trying to have basic conversations with people who are considering purchasing, even if it's in the next 12 to 18 months. I just want to have a chat. I want you to pick my brain and vice versa, kind of go over some of the things that you might be scared about, some of the uncertainties, and figure out how we can come up with some solutions for you, make you feel more comfortable.
Perfect. All right, so let's go into the next question / statement. What are the risks of selling your home as a for sale by owner? Are you dealing with people purchasing homes on a for sale by owner, and what struggles do you run into?
Yeah, so this one I can talk a lot about because even when it is a for sale by owner, a lot of people still come to me for the financing. And then from there, one of the things that, we unfortunately have to get a little more involved in than I would like to admit is, there's even been times where we're drafting the contracts. We're the ones that are sending out all the disclosures, the addendums, everything along those lines. As long as I'm not receiving a commission, I'm well within my rights, or better yet, the law with my license to do so. And so, what are the risks of selling your home without a for sale by owner? Well, I mean, for starters, the number one thing that I see is it is very unusual, unless it's like a family member situation, that I see a for sale by owner transaction go good in respect to the experience.
Okay.
In my career, I've probably done over 20, under 30. So we'll just say around 25. And I have never seen them go well unless it's like, dad is selling to his son or something like that. When it is two parties that do not know each other, it is always a pain in the ass. Everybody hates each other because everybody has to deal directly. And I think the main reason is because I think everybody goes into it with the intention that the seller thinks he's going to get a better deal than if he would sell with a real estate agent. And the buyer thinks he's going to get a better deal because he's not selling with an agent. And all of a sudden they realize that one person is trying to get over on the other. And it's always messy, man. I really don't enjoy doing FSBOs. Not only because of the additional work I have to do, but because of the mediation between both parties.
So I'll add on to this majority of FSBOs that are sold. Actually, not even majority. All FSBOs that are sold, the national average is that they sell 13% less than homes sold with real estate agents. So let's even take commission out. Take out 6% from the commission. They're still selling 7% below than what if an agent was there. So technically, they're almost doubling. They're more than doubling what they could have sold it for.
I don't think that
percentage-wise.
I don't think sellers, when they're selling for sale by owner, understand all of the work that goes into the transaction after an offer is accepted. I feel like sellers think, the hard part is getting people in the house, negotiating the offer, and then once the contract is signed, that they just kind of wait for the money to be deposited into their account. And that is absolutely not the case.
Not even close. It's actually harder.
Yeah, and that's usually once the trouble starts, because the sellers and buyer have already gone through negotiations ultimately by the time they get to me, and they're already a little burnt out, but they're relieved. And then when I'm like, okay, I need signatures on this, we need that, the contract you guys use, not even legal, here we're gonna have to draft up an additional, and they're kind of like, this is a lot of work. I thought we were done. Where's my money? And it's we're not even close.
So might as well go through all the steps of a contract just so kind of everyone understands. So from the time of, we're talking about the harder portion of the real estate process is from contract to close. So once contract received, we would go over negotiations and contract is executed. Real estate agent orders inspection, and there might be multiple inspections. It might be a septic. It might be, you might need a specific roof inspection, which are free, by the way. You have a general inspection. You may need a pool inspection, and typically homeowners don't have all those contacts.
Right.
Once the inspection's over, we get the report back if you're representing the buyer side. Buyer's agent will then put together what's called a repair amendment. Typically, the best way to go about these is we have our promulgated forms on an amendment. Bottom section, we would say refer to Exhibit A. The agent would then put together an Exhibit A with screenshots from the inspection report with the request on what needs to be repaired, and if they want this done prior to closing, if they want this done before option period, and state exactly what they're looking for their client. Then once negotiations is over, option period is now over. Now it goes back to you guys, where it's now we have to make sure the appraisal's ordered, and I'm working on the back end to confirm that comps are there to certify that the appraiser has the correct comps and where property's not going to not appraise. Where am I going next with this? It's more stuff on your side.
Yeah, there's a ton of
Yeah.
stuff on my side, and look, the one thing that I just find like super, almost like no brainer is I just can't understand in what world anyone thinks that someone who is selling their home is going to just basically look at what they want to get, subtract the commission that they would pay, and sell it for that amount, right? Like, that's just not going to happen. They're trying to sell it because not only do they want to get the amount that they would get by utilizing a real estate agent, they want to get more in their pocket. And so automatically their intentions are going to be to sell that house to you, the buyer, for more than you would normally pay for it. And then from there, you're basically paying a premium to use someone who's not a real estate agent, which is going to not only, number one, you're going to pay more, and you're going to have a horrible experience because you're dealing with a dog shit, representative who's not licensed. They're not even a licensed agent.
And here's the part where I don't understand. There's no way to do this on Zillow or any other site. How is a for sale by owner running any type of comps and understanding that market value? Are they just going to go through the neighborhood and look, okay, this home was listed at 100, this home was listed at 150, this was at 175. Now let's take an average of that price per square foot and let's list it at that.
Oh, Matt, don't go there. I mean, there's way smarter people out there than you and I, right? And they don't have access to everything, but why do they need to? Why do they need to? And then the problem with the for sale by owner, in my opinion, also is so now you've got an individual who not only wants to capitalize on making more money than they would make with an agent, they want to take the money that they would make with the agent, they want to cover that and charge it basically to the buyer because that's what the buyer's paying for in terms of a purchase price. They're offering a lower level of service than you would experience if there was a listing agent on the other side. And in addition to that, out of all of the things I just mentioned, they also want you to come in unrepresented because they're not willing to pay any sort of commission for you to have representation for a buyer's agent. So now you as a buyer are forced to come and pay out of pocket for your representation on top of all of the other things that I just made mention of that are not advantageous to you. I don't know. It to me just seems like a very, and then again, it's all guised with the fictitious idea that I'm going to sell this property for way less than what I normally would. Yeah, right, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. If you were literally given deals, you'd be better off just being like, I don't want to deal with this, out of sight, out of mind. Just let me net what I want to net. Anybody who sells for sale by owner has zero intention of giving that house up for anything less than what the maximum amount that they're going to sell it for,
So
period.
I was running comps yesterday on a FSBO. FSBO means for sale by owner, by the way, in Crystal Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, property's price at 1.24 is 3,700 square feet. The closest comp I could find to that was 1.1, and it was 3,900 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of overpriced this property was, and they're only 5 days on market, so I'm going to give it a chance a little bit to see what happens on it. The picture was a blurry picture. It looked like it was from they took with their Sony phone from 2004.
Mm-hmm.
It's super blurry. One picture, no interiors, just the outside. And I'm not going to fully blast this person who's doing this, but giving a real estate agent a chance. I'm gonna probably call you tomorrow, just so you know, and we're gonna have a talk about your marketing and everything else, and where it's priced and what expectations are, and go through the entire process of it. Just if you're considering doing it for sale by owner, more of a PSA, listen to this first, then talk with an agent if you need to, because you're just gonna make a lot more money, and the process is much smoother if you go through the typical transaction with a real estate agent to guide you through it.
Well, I heard an interesting comment from another agent that I've been saying now ever since she brought it up, is that there's only 2 things that buyers look at when they're shopping for homes, because let's face it, the majority of the pre-shopping is done online, and all they're looking at is price and pictures. That's it. Price and pictures. Because the big gripe with real estate agents is like no one looks at the description.
Yep.
Nobody reads anything in regards to like, hey, here's what we're offering. Here's our seller concessions, anything along those lines. It's pricing and pictures. So, The price is pretty obvious, and I think we talked about this where it's like listing at $499 is like different than listing at like $505.
Yep.
And then if you got crappy photos, man, like you're shit in the bed.
So there's a new thing that Zillow, this kind of ties into the FSBO thing too. There's a new thing that Zillow's going to be doing that if you use a Zillow preferred photographer and their floor plan, who creates basically the floor plans you can use,
Yeah.
they're releasing a new feature that your listing will have a crown next to it.
Oh.
And they're going to be featured listings.
Wow.
And thankfully my brokerage is part of that, so we'll be on the featured listings. This will also
Nice.
help all my sellers. But any FSBO will not be featured on that.
Interesting. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I just don't understand. It goes back to the comments that I've made before. I know how to change my own oil. There's a lot of things I know how to do, but where is your time the most valuable? And if you're going to do something, you're certainly not going to do it for free. So, anybody who's selling for sale by owner, like, I'm on to you. I know what you're doing.
I'm definitely on to you getting my phone calls.
Right?
All right, let's get into your questions.
Yeah, we always like to finish up with a couple would you rathers. This week I wanted to make them a little bit real estate related, so I've got two of them here. The first one, because today's the 26th of October and we're approaching Halloween here, I thought this one was good. Would you rather live in a house that had disclosed that there was a murder in the house,
Okay.
or pay like a full-blown extra premium for a home that has reported no paranormal activity? So are you going for that deal?
Dude, I've watched too many horror movies. I'm paying.
I'm going with the murder. My first house I bought had a suicide that was legitimately listed in the in the notes and everything along those lines. And even when I bought the home, the neighbors made it very clear, of exactly what happened. It was an intentional drug overdose from what I was told. And
Okay, in that scenario, a little different, right?
wasn't a murder.
Okay.
Wasn't a murder. But I was down. I was like, whatever. Never.
Have you seen Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, but I mean,
Have you seen bodies floating and then just flying against the wall?
yes, of course. I've seen lots of things, I mean, on movies, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm down. If I had to, we'll just bulldoze it or something, or is it the ground that anyway?
Yeah.
What was the other one that I really, really liked? Let's see. Would you rather live in a tiny house with all of the latest smart technology, or in a mansion, no electricity, no appliance, no tech gadgets?
Tiny home.
Tiny home?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, for work,
What's the square footage? Give me some.
mansion,
No. What's the square footage of the tiny home?
tiny.
Like,
There has to see. This is why we need the computer right here, because
Sub
I
500?
guarantee that. Yeah, sub 500. I'm talking like
do I have a dividers and an L, or is it just one open room?
just one open. You got your kitchen, your bedroom's lofted.
So it's like I'm living in an RV.
Correct.
I got the RV all day.
Going RV all day.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking mansion, because then as long as I can have an office with all the technology stuff that I need.
You know how you gonna power it?
No, at the office.
Oh,
So now I've got an office where I can do all my work and all of those things. But when I come home, that's it. Like, I'm chilling.
okay. What do you do when it's 105 degrees out?
Fuck. All right, fine. You got me thinking now.
Let's put you back in Ohio and it's negative 13 degrees out. Freezing your dick off.
All right, tiny home might be what I have to do. All right, one more.
Okay.
And then I've already gotten my balls busted on this one, because would you rather have so in your closet, you have an endless supply of any kind of shoe you want. Jordans, if you're into dress clothes, Louboutin, but you can only wear one outfit. Yes, you can clean this outfit. Yes, it's like whatever, but it can you called it being Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
But any shoe you want, or an endless amount of outfits, but only one pair of shoes.
So, one pair of shoes, endless amount of outfits, and I'm gonna just throw this out there. If you got a pair of Converse, they match everything. You can do it with anything. White Converse you do everything.
That's a good point. I think I'm going outfits too, but I can see the appeal to the shoe thing. Especially if you're kind of like a basic dresser. Maybe you're just a t-shirt and jeans guy.
Yeah, and if you're the guy that wears just a black t-shirt and black jeans, and you had kind of
They're out there,
that would be. So you could do the shoe thing,
right?
but then again, you're not gonna wear what kind of you could wear multiple shoes.
Yeah.
I still no Charlie Brown.
Different pair of Nikes every single day. You know.
I have one pair of Dunks, and that's plenty.
All right, man. What else you got before we wrap it up?
Nothing. Let's just wrap this one up. It's kind of a quicker episode. Again, I'm Matthew Kemps with Lone Wolf Realty Group at Spyglass Realty. If you are looking to buy, sell, invest, whatever it may end up being, we are here to kind of help. Again, phone numbers up here in the description below. You're going to have our Calendly link, email, all the above. And anyone who's looking to be as a first-time home buyer, this is the time to buy it currently. As we talked in our last episode, there is a chance in the spring that there's going to be rates are going to level out, supply and demands. We're still not going to have enough supply. There's going to be a ton of demand. And we're going to get a point where I think first-time home buyers actually get priced out of the market because there's so much equity from current homeowners. So if you are looking to purchase as a first-time home buyer, this is the time. Please reach out to us, and I'm going to let him tee up from there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Matt Kirschling, Gold Star Mortgage. Wanted to quickly just say that I am in the negotiations because of the seller concessions that were negotiated. We're going to be getting somebody into an interest rate at 4.875% today.
Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Starting at what?
That's the start rate.
I understand, but like, you got how much concessions?
Oh yeah, 15,000 in concessions on this particular deal. Going to get the interest rate down to 4.875% for the first year. So
how much does that affect their payment?
So they're purchasing for like $300,000, so it's going to end up saving them about $650 in the first year.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, totally. So those are conversations that I want to have. I know that's intriguing to a lot of people. I know it's not the most simplest concept to wrap your head around, so you're not bothering me. Reach out. Let's talk about it. I'll make sure that you kind of are able to digest it all and it all makes sense.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
All right, brother. Thanks.